Hello and welcome back to Spekd, and today we have got our Warhammer Conquest issue number 63. I know you recognise the sprue as a Poxwalker sprue, but don't worry about it. Let's get it opened up and let's have a look at the content on the inside of the magazine. And if you do like this kind of thing, these unboxing of, Warhammer gear and other things, you can always subscribe to the channel just in case I unbox that one thing close to the Christmas that, you want to have a look at. And if it's just secretly that you like to have the feels of opening up the item without actually having to pay for it, that's pretty cool too, because I watch unboxings too. So either way, let's get this open. Alright, let's open this up. Straight from the back, all the way through, and bam, there it is. Okay, let's have a look at the artwork. I'll get to the models in a second. So in comparative focus to last time, if we can get it in focus, last time we had a whole different color background. We had more of this kind of brownish color on there. To see that other magazine opening, going through this, make a comparison yourself. Let's take a look. We have our $7.99 magazine, which is still good. We do have prices there for Australia and New Zealand. I still don't see US, and I'm still not chuffed with that. Artwork looks nice and balanced, even though it is predominantly green here. We haven't lost very much, and it's always nice kind of little contrast there with the brownish gold there. Some would argue a sepia. We've got a plasma marine on front there, and this little bonus piece of information. Every single magazine that I've been slightly missing out on for some magic reason. There. It tells you exactly how many minis are meant to be on each magazine. So yeah, much fun. Issue number 63. Let's have a look and see what we have. So we have our Death Shroud Terminators, Legacy of Secrecy, Eldari, Raven Guard Successors, Battle for Novaris. We have the Restless Dead, Hold Back the Horde, and Watergate there. Looking at this, obviously a pun on Watergate there, but this is interesting to see. There is no painting material. Then again, saying that, we have already had our painting guide for the Poxwalkers, and I have been requested to do like a painting guide on how I paint my Poxwalkers, so that'll be something in the future that goes alongside with other painting requests. Because apparently I need to do more painting for you guys, because I keep doing these models and not showing you how to do them, so that's my bad. I should really share that with you. If you really want to see it, stay tuned. That will definitely be throughout the new year. The other thing that I've noticed, that when Games Workshop releases magazines, or I should say, Hachette releases magazines on behalf of Games Workshop, or however you want to roll it, the other way around, they tend to always pack the magazine with lore or things of interest of the new models being released for Games Workshop. So we saw a whole heap of information on White Scars, and then they had the White Scars supplement release. They did all the information on Raven Guard that was released, and Salamanders as well, and Imperial Fists. So it was really good to see that. So we might actually glean what's coming out. Death Shroud Terminators. Now these guys are the best bodyguards that effectively the Death Guard have to offer. On a table, they've got a mechanic where they could just basically jump in front of missiles, like, no, Mr. President, and they can take the blows for you. And this is really handy when you combine it with Mortarion. On their own, although they are slow, they can deep strike, but they're really, really tough. All I can say is that they are worth having a few if you're going to be running Mortarion, otherwise he will get instantly shot off the board, just to take a few wounds for him. So that's good to see those in there. And I think I'll speak about expanding the army and where to go next. It's really important. I mean, Conquest is doing a fantastic job, don't get me wrong. But I think there's some units that you definitely do need to use your Death Guard, because I'm having fun with my Death Guard at the moment. A lot more than I thought. But anyway, let's get back to it. So here you have the original colours before the Horus Heresy, which is really good. And sometimes when I'm colouring up my models, I try to get some of this kind of white paint in there, just to show that they're pretty much just come through the warp and just started to be corrupted. because the warp itself isn't just for translocation, it's, you know, also about time as well. Someone could be in the warp and they consider they've been there only for a few hours, but it might have been thousands of years. And that's a really good way of having older models in with the modern day models. It's a nice little trick. We can see there more Death Guard work there, and they got that kind of Lord of Contagion look about them, and effectively that's what they are, but at the same time it's really good. I love that way that purple and green works together. It's a really good combination. Alright, stop waffling. So Legacy of Secrecy. This is obviously Dark Angels. Dark Angels are so secret about everything that at the end of the day it just borders on heresy. There's stealth, and then there's just hiding everything. So I mentioned earlier that normally when you have a piece of information in here, it relates to like a change in the game system. And right now we're looking at Psychic Awakening, and I've got a feeling that even just mentioning this might mean there could be a change in the Dark Angels, probably the Fallen. That's what I get from this, because we know it's a business and we know like one links to the other. That could be a thing. But anyway, secrets and lies and hiding and dodginess and Fallen and corruption and whatnot. I hope they sort that out, because that just needs to be resolved. Although these were actually one of the first sets of models that I got from the Dark Vengeance box set, so that was pretty cool. Didn't know much about them. One had a really cool helm and that was about it. So we have the Eldari. These are like the elves, the ancient old race, but the old dying race. This always reminds me, and it's gonna sound weird, but do you know the end of Lord of the Rings, where the elves are getting on a boat and they're going away, and it's like, it's the time of man now? That's kind of like what these guys are like, but they're not going quietly. Now they consider humans to be monkeys, or monkai, which is hilarious. They've got a lot of movement, a lot of range, and move really quick on the table. I don't have any of these guys, but I hate playing against them. You always feel that there's something going on that you didn't notice or see, that if you known in the beginning, could have saved you. But they do have some beautiful artwork, beautiful ships designs, really good. And Amelin Shadow Guide from the Blackstone Fortress. There we go, it's there, still in my memory, hasn't gone anywhere. Is the main assassin that I'm currently playing, and as you know, she's just deleting everything, which is a bit of a problem. Doesn't feel like much of a challenge, so we'll have to change that. Anyway, successor chapters of Raven Guard, and I like seeing these successor chapter sections, because even if you are getting the models and you haven't started painting, or you're just joining in, this is a good way to see what you could possibly have and consider what you might want to do with them. And especially this. Painting white is tricky. Buddy of mine, the Weather Pig, he has a fantastic tutorial for painting white, and you will get that effect because he uses the contrast of the black for the detail in there, so that will work nicely. Shameless plug. Ooh, look, I didn't know that. The Acropolis Hawks, and we're seeing some artwork actually from Adam Fox with his Hawks. And the last kind of showcase. I haven't been getting many pictures for the showcase, by the way, just in case you're wondering, like, why don't I do the showcasing anymore? It's just that I have a good group of people that do send their work, and they're working on their project as it stands, and it's just because they're building their army, it tends to be the same work. And what I don't want to do is keep on every single time I do one of those showcases, just only show a few people's work each time. It does show progress, but you know, I would like to keep a bit of variety for everybody, so all feel included. Otherwise, you know, I could just do specials for everybody individually. Silver Templars. So we got the more information on these guys. We know that these were like the Ultramarines kind of successor chapters, and these guys were like some of the first Primaris Space Marines, and they were out and about first of all, kicking butt, being legends, and everybody's like, yeah, we need to be those. And I honestly think that the Conquest magazine was really based on these guys, but we're yet to see. So Novaris, we're seeing some information based on the world, getting some details. Oh, look at this. Now, stats and numbers always helps. And this is interesting. So it shows you the orbit time. 32 hours, 47 minutes and 35 seconds. I bet you that turns into a date that they're releasing something interesting or some other combination. You know what Games Workshop is like. Okay, so they were enslaved, and it looks like by the Emperor's children. Yeah, or some faction of that. Flawless host. There we go. Yeah, and these are from the Emperor's children. And even that piece of artwork is just... it's brilliant. I mean, look, consider this. You take away one half, Joe Average, Space Marine, take away the other half, Crazy Demon. Let's go. Loving it. Loving it. Absolutely love that. It's brilliant. Ooh. That's a nice splash page there. That could have been a poster. But your tabletop donkeys are well happy about this. So we've got more story. What's happening? They kind of come in, swoop in and rescue everybody. I think we know that story there. Are we seeing a repulsor here? It doesn't look very... Is that the executioner? No, repulsor. Yeah, we're seeing a repulsor there. Just taking a little look there. Getting a bit more information. And we'll be seeing that fairly soon. I think it's about 10 or so issues time. Building our models. Now, if you had more than one sprue, you got that extra. In fact, it says there in issues 33 and 46, you would have got that extra bit there for that character. So hopefully you did keep them. And if you didn't, or if you just picked up this magazine, unfortunately, that Marine will be left out for you. But again, there's the instructions. I won't necessarily going into the models here because I've already done that in the previous video. Not the previous one to this, but a previous video. I'll put a link up if I remember. So here's a mission. Everything is kind of falling in there on a population of almost 250,000. I think with an infestation heading into a place like that with a population of 250,000, that place is going to fall. Unless you send the Blood Angels, I'm just saying. So holding back the Horde. I think this is the mission that we were waiting for before. So they printed this mission before, but they didn't give us this map. Now we have this map, which you can see how easy that is to build. That's literally one section off of the standard terrain. It's one piece. So you could probably pick that up for dirt cheap. Simple set of steps. And this could be any can, container, or what have you. Just put a little lip around it and just put a little bit of card and rust those out, like in tutorials, and you can have that on a small piece of terrain. You can see. They're really encouraging you to make your own things there when you get these sections, which is really good. They might not say it, but read between the lines. That's not an official piece of Games Workshop terrain. So right there we have our mission. As you can see, deployment zones, mission, and what have we got? Typhus, 3 units of Poxwalkers, 3 units of 10 Poxwalkers, sorry, 10 Chaos Cultists, 5 Plague Marines. So, Primaris, Chaplain, Ancient, 2 units of 5 Intercessor, 5 Reavers, 3 Aggressors. As long as you get those Aggressors near the chaff units, you should be able to burn through them. If you are the Space Marines, but you've got to kind of hurry up. Victory conditions. Stop any of the Poxwalkers. Okay, so as long as you burn out all the Poxwalkers, you're okay. But at the same time, on the flip side of that, if you're the Death Guard, if you use the abilities where for Chaos Cultists or Plague Marines are killed, the ability that spawns more Poxwalkers, get that in play. Sacrifice your Marines and sacrifice your Cultists, and just run the rest. If you had the Noxious Blight Bringer. We come to the end. We've got our Astral Granite refill, and that will give us time to paint up our models. And we have our champions. Now I already have these models from Burning Prospero. I think that was a set where you got the Contemptor Dreadnought. It's a really good set for Horus Heresy. And I painted them up as Blood Angels, so I'll show those next time we get to this. Other than that, that was an interesting issue. Quick sprue check, and it's looking okay. What I'll do is I'll use one of these models to show you how I paint my Poxwalkers, as I've been requested by AS. I'm not too sure what that stands for, but either way, I'll be doing more painting tutorials, which I hope are just helpful. And there's plenty to do. But anyway, I enjoyed that magazine. It wasn't the best. I think that's because a lot of the content wasn't really for me. If you was interested in the other factions, that's probably of interest to you. Even if you would turn around and you gave this magazine as a gift to someone, you kept the magazine, you gave the sprue to someone, then if they're just starting, that's like 11 models you could just paint up and play, you know, just to get them started. And especially with Poxwalkers, you can't paint them wrong. And that's like a really nice way to get someone to build their confidence and get going. You know, it might seem like a sacrifice, but once a person starts seeing and they can get your tips and whatnot, I mean, you could show them to this channel. At least then that will kind of like encourage them to move forward, and then you'll have someone else you could play against and play with, so to speak, and probably build friends for a really long time. Either way, or you know, favoured enemies. This has been Spekd. I've enjoyed my time. I hope you've enjoyed your time. I'll be bringing another video back fairly soon, so stick around. And PC out.